This short yoga flow is all about changing your perspective, but we're going to start by letting go of some tension in your shoulders. You can take one arm to the other and just massage down from your shoulder to your palm. Take it to the other side. Of course, you can take longer with any of these little pieces if you'd like. When you're ready, we're going to bring the arms to the wall. So giving yourself a little stretch as you reach your arm back behind you and then begin to turn your body away. Now you can have your palm flat on the wall, or you might prefer to have the side of your hand towards the wall. So just exploring what lets you get in, and my opposite fingers are actually also on the wall. So I'm just kind of using that for some counterbalance, and you might get a picture of it a little bit better this way. So again, this time my front arm, my fingertips are just kind of helping me navigate. You can gaze back or gaze around to the side, and your back hand, the palm might be pressed against the wall, or you might have that edge of the hand pressing into the wall, and just exploring what awakens some sensation. From here, we'll make our way down onto the mat, just into a tabletop to start. Breathing into your spine, greeting your shoulders in a new relationship to gravity. Breathing and moving. And then you can stretch your arms out longer here, coming into a little puppy dog pose, or Anahatasana, the heart chakra pose. And in this shape, we can begin to lower the heart below the shoulders. You might lift up onto your fingertips, or you might bring palm to palm together behind your heart. Lots of little variations in this shape, and you can make it your own. A way to send your breath into your armpits, into your shoulders, front and back sides of your heart. And then widen out your stance and come all the way down onto your belly. And then we're going to lift back up and lower down knees, chest, and chin. So finding a little inchworm shape here. Just breathing into the back side of your heart, your upper spine and shoulders, and then lowering to the earth for a cobra. You can choose how much weight in the hands, if any at all, how much lift of the heart. And we'll press back to a downward facing dog. We're going to repeat all of that again, taking yourself forward, lowering knees, chest, and chin, a little inchworm shape, breathing into the heart, and then lowering the hips, finding your way into a cobra. A little bit of a lift. You get to choose the range of motion, and pressing back once again, downward facing dog. So a little perspective shift as we go from down dog forward to the earth, that knees, chest, and chin. And then we slide on down and slither on up into cobra. You can always press down through the legs and the tops of the feet, protecting your low back as you meet cobra. And when you're ready, perhaps shifting into a brief child's pose. You can be wide-kneed, allowing the head to release between the knees. Once again, breathing into the upper back, behind your heart, and maybe palm to palm behind your head. Sending just a little bit more awareness into your armpits and your shoulders. Okay, we're going to do something a little different here. So you can move through a down dog, maybe walk forward into a forward fold. Let's find another shoulder opener here as you clasp palms together and draw them up overhead, or perhaps you use a strap here between your hands, whatever supports the range of motion in your shoulders. and then we'll roll up to standing. Maybe a few shoulder rolls here. And we're going to take this same little set of postures, a down dog, an inchworm, a cobra, at the wall. So I'll start with that down dog shape. You can really take gravity out of the equation and just explore that range of motion in your shoulders and your upper back. And then we're going to walk all the way up to the wall. The wall's like our new floor here. It's like our mat. And then bring your knees, your chest, and your chin to the wall, finding that little inchworm shape standing. And then we'll lift up into a cobra. So totally different perspective, different relationship to gravity. Okay, we're going to repeat that sequence again. Walking your feet back, finding that downward dog at the wall. So you're not weight bearing in your hands. It has a very different feeling. Taking a few breaths, finding your range of motion. You can come in and out of the shape, and we'll walk it forward, bringing knees, chest, and chin at the wall. Little inchworm here. And then just as if you're going to move your way down to the earth and up into cobra, we lengthen the legs, really draw the tailbone long and down towards your heels as you lift your heart away from the wall. Let's find that one more time. Stepping back, downward facing dog at the wall. Walking yourself forward, stepping into the knees, chest, and chin. That little inchworm shape progresses as you lengthen the tailbone long, pressing back, a little back bend. So it's more of a heart lift than it is a crunching of the lower back. We're just creating space in the chest and upper back and shoulders. Now here's where it gets pretty interesting, and you can continue on or maybe watch for a little bit and then decide to rewind and rejoin. So I'm going to turn all the way around, place my hands where my feet were, and walk my feet up onto the wall. Now, this is another downward dog shape, totally different relationship to gravity and quite a different perspective. You can bend your knees slightly here, really feeling what it's like this time to be weight-bearing into your hands. You might stay in that downward dog. You might lift one leg away from the wall. That's a pretty daring move, so I trust that if you're going to do that, you know your own capacity here. You know your own strength. You're not going to topple over or land on your head. Just offering options, listening to what's right for you. You can walk on down from the wall, and perhaps you just watched that and opted out. We'll all meet over into a child's pose once again. Letting yourself assimilate whatever happened or didn't up to this point in your practice. Catching your breath, noticing what's present for you now. And for this next shape, I'll invite the use of a block. I'm going to place it between the L's of my first finger and my thumbs. And this time, instead of pressing up into a downward dog, we'll press up into a dolphin. Now, in dolphin, we're on our forearms, and some of you might be watching this before you join me in it, and you have an option to kick up into a forearm stand. That's quite a perspective change. If that's in your practice, you've gone there, and if it's not, you maybe watched it on the video and got curious about it. You can stay in a dolphin, a forearm downward dog. You might lift one leg and then the other leg, just noticing what it feels like to play around with a little bit of time upside down. And even if that's in a classic downward dog, your head is below your heart. There's a perspective shift from our daily life. Now we'll come on down and rest in child's pose. You can stay here, or I'll offer one final movement exploration by clasping your hands at your sacrum, drawing your clasped hands away from your lower back, either staying as you are with forehead on the ground, or some of you might lift your hips, even rolling onto the top of your head. honoring that there's no pain in your neck when you do that. Just a brief visit into that shape, and then we'll settle back towards the heels, this time coming up into sitting. So we'll complete our practice with just a brief moment seated, a chance to check in with what you are aware of now, with this little playful flow focused on changing your perspective. Perhaps asking yourself, what new awareness do you have now that you can take with you off of the mat into your day?